What are you looking for? You just barely had dinner? You just barely, no, you had dinner like 20 minutes? If you're still hungry after 20 minutes, you can get something else to eat.
Let's see if I can go out there. Get it open?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm doing a webinar. Well, let's do a little sound check. Wondering how I'm sounding. It looks like it's broadcasting sound, but we'll never know. So we'll check it out. Let's see how it's coming. Hey, Vol Dynasty Group, Gary Munson here. Man, it's been a good while since we've had a meeting. I'm so excited today to start a new year, 2015. What's your 2015 going to be like? Is it going to be big time improvement over what happened last year? Of course, we'll cover that tonight, but what we do and have is completely up to us to choose. We can't always choose what happens, but we can always choose how we respond. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that, becoming a goal getter. because I think there's some really great principles that we can follow. So with that, I'm just going to move into it. The first thing I want to talk about tonight is renewals. It's something that Vault has done now. This is our second year that they're doing renewals. This is a great thing for those of us that are staying in the business. It allows compression from people who are in our organizations but are maybe outside of our first or second or third level, and we're not getting paid much on other than just normal team bonuses if you're a director. So if people don't renew, then someone on your first level doesn't renew. Everyone on your second moves up and becomes your first. So make sure you do that by January 31st. It renews your business. The cost is $24.99 a year, so just under $25. Certainly, at this point if your business is worth that to you. You have to renew if you enrolled in Vault before January 1 of last year, 2014. So this is going to be an annual thing going forward. Make sure you do it, and this is a great thing for our business. Here's another announcement from Jim, just talking about the new promotions for the month of January. And man, he came out with a just bare bones enrollment of $79.99. So we can get in the business for $79.99. It comes with a welcome kit, 1 year's access to the website that we use to run our business. That includes utilizing Vault's merchant accounts, so we don't have to pay credit card processing fees. That includes keeping track of our back office and our organizations and our teams. Man, it's great stuff. Of course, you get a VFC number and then access to any local corporately owned inventories if there are, if there's one nearby for you. Also, great information. The grab bag sale was extended. I think Jim is excited about selling jeans that are sitting around and moving them on so we can bring in new stuff. Man, here's another exciting thing. By the way, 3 pairs for $39.99. You just pick what size you want, and if it's bling or premium or premium or stitched. So figure that out. Grab some of those. Man, it's smart. If I'm VFC and I want to have some jeans on hand, especially if you're doing a lot of our boutique fitting model. It's good to have cash and carry items for people, for your friends who just want a pair of jeans tomorrow night to wear out to their anniversary or whatever. So it's great to have that stuff. And man, to get them for $13, are you kidding me? Sell them for $40, sell them for $20, make great money. And then he did a markdown of the $59.99 jeans in the CSIC inventories, now $39.99. So man, let's sell jeans. Let's put money in our pockets and let's help people look great. Hey, tomorrow night, Jim and Steve are doing a conference call overviewing the Vault business opportunity. If you've got somebody new that wants to get in the business, put them on the call. Jim will outline the 3 areas that we sell with Vault Denim, with Vault Fashion, and Vault Accessories. So great stuff. Come and hear that tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Mountain. That's 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And his calls are always pretty brief. So I'd plan on 30, 40 minutes, and it'll be very motivating. So be sure to jump on there. Hey, I was in the back office, and I found a product that I really liked. I realize it's the winter. It might be freezing cold where you live. But, man, I was just looking at True Luxe, and I saw this awesome berry stitched capri. I love the bright pink stitching. I have a pair of men's jeans that have red stitching that I think are the coolest in the world. Anyway, I just love that. $98. If you're going somewhere warm, it might make sense to grab a pair of those because those are very cool. Just wanted to point that out, that is in the True Luxe section of the back office. Very, very cool. Great thing about True Luxe is for some of the mature bodies that you're selling to, they go up just a little bit higher. It's a little higher rise jeans. So there's that. Also, as I was looking through, I noticed that Jim had picked up some. True Luxe jackets. So cool. I mean, the detail on this stuff is fantastic. So really great stuff. So there's that. And then, hey, with that, let's get started into achieving goals. Let's see here. Someone's saying that they're having a hard time getting in, so let me just respond really fast. And I'm recording this, and we'll post. Okay, new technology tonight, so it's wildly exciting. So, hey, achieving goals, set them and then get them. Here's what I believe. I believe that fear is a prison where you are the jailer. You create your own fear. You create what holds you back. So as I look at this little flow chart, I really appreciate it. Are you happy? You have a yes or a no option there. If the answer is yes, keep doing whatever you're doing. If the answer is no, then you've got a choice. Do you want to be happy? No. Then keep doing whatever you're doing. Hey, if you want to be happy, yes, then change something. So here's an opportunity. If you are not happy with all aspects of your life, more than just vault, if there's relationship, if there's spiritual, if there's financial, whatever it might be, we've got to change some stuff if we want things to change for us. And so if you do want to change things, make room for the change. I love this quote from this Marianne Williamson. Spiritual growth involves giving up the stories of your past so the universe can write a new one. And it's kind of like if you're walking in with groceries and both of your arms were full and someone was to throw you, maybe a rubber band wrapped around 10 $100 bills. You can't catch that money because your arms are full of groceries. So if you want something new in your life, you may have to set something down so you have room to pick something back up, and that's very, very important. So we got to make room for what you're looking for in your life. So I don't know if you're a religious person, but the Bible, a well-established book, and I love this Florence Shinn quote that says, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your own destiny." And it is totally true. If you tell yourself, "Oh man, I can't recruit. I can't build this business. Oh man, for some reason I can't sell full price jeans." You keep telling yourself that, and guess what? Your subconscious is a diligent servant. It's going to go get exactly what you're telling it that you cannot do. So, so here's the facts, and it lies in the first book of the Bible in Genesis. And God said, "Let there be light." And guess what? There was light. Jump down a few verses, Genesis 1:6, and God said, "Let there be a firmament," and it was so. Firmament's the ground, and there it was. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together," and it says, and it was so. So God created with the power of his mouth and other powers that he has, and I'm here to say that you create by the power of your mouth, by the words of your mouth, the things you think are creating where your life is right now. As I mentioned before, your subconscious is a very diligent servant. Now, this is a sketch I got from Bob Proctor. He's the old guy in The Secret that was wearing kind of that yellow tan suit with the white hair. On a conference call with him, his consulting sessions all focus around what he calls the stick man. And this is a picture of the stick man. It's a little guy with a great big head, a little body. And he draws a hemisphere here in half. It splits this mind, the head, into the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. You think you know what your conscious mind does. You know, your conscious mind makes a decision about what you're going to eat for dinner tonight. Your conscious mind, it makes a decision about what you're going to wear. Your conscious mind makes up the decision if you're going to call your spouse today. Your subconscious mind is the real miracle of this whole deal. This is the genius of our being. The subconscious mind runs so many things. Oh my goodness. The first thing it does is sorts out all sensory input from all 5 of our senses. It somehow pares down stuff that comes in through your eyes, through your nose, through your ears, through your mouth, and through touch, through all of your skin throughout your body. And it somehow sorts it out and only feeds your brain what it absolutely has to have to function. It's a miracle how that filters. Okay, and then what it does is in order to make it easy to function and do these things on its own, to make your heart beat, to make your eyes blink, to swallow when your mouth gets dry, or when it's not dry, it creates these little if-then loops. Like if my eyes start getting dry, I'm going to blink, and it just knows that it blinks an amount of time. It works kind of like a thermostat in your house. If you want the heat to rise, you move the indicator up higher, and then the furnace kicks on. And if you want to lower it, then it won't kick on until it gets down to that spot. It runs on these if-then loops like a thermostat. Now, it works incredibly hard to deliver exactly what you desire because it feels great when it does. And if you say, oh man, I'm always so bad with names, I'm so bad with names, that you're walking up to somebody that you met before and you can't remember their name, guess what? It won't let you remember your name, and it'll be so proud. It'll be like, yeah, she said that she was so bad with names, and I helped her be bad with names. But the other thing is it doesn't hear negative. It doesn't hear not or don't. And so if you tell a little kid, don't touch the stove, guess what they hear? Touch the stove. It's incapable of hearing not or don't. So you have to be careful to speak things the way you want them to happen without that negative spin. Well, we could go on and on and on about the power of the subconscious. But what we want to do is we want to give the subconscious the material to run on that you want it to have. So you need to write the story of your life in advance. And so think of it as, on your smartphone, if you have a Maps app, or if you've ever used Google Maps and you put a location where you're going, it goes out to where you're going and then works backwards. But we have to tell your subconscious how you turn what you wish to have happen into reality by turning them into goals and by writing them down. And use goals that formulate that most important story for what you really want to have in your life. And when you do it, you want to write them in the present tense as if you already have that goal. I am a director in Vault Denim. I drive a company paid for Escalade. I have a great team that creates residual income for me. Whatever it is important to you. And more important than just business and income and pin levels, but in your personal lives as well. What do you want your physical body and shape to look like? What do you want your relationships to be like? What do you want your spiritual life to be like? And we want to write these, what you want it to be in the present tense of how you want it to be. So here's another great graphic. I am. Two of the most powerful words for what you put after them shapes your reality. I am a director in Vault Denim. I love driving a company paid for Audi in my part. In my part, I am going on the cruise with Vault Denim in 2015 because it is so fun. So I am. And then do it. Well, let's talk just a second about why goals. And there's a couple of stories similar to this. This one comes out of What They Don't Teach You at the Harvard Business School by Mark McCormick. Here's a study about the Harvard MBA graduates in 1979. In the book, Mr. McCormick tells about this study on these MBA students, and these guys were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and then made the plans to accomplish them? Only 3% of the graduates had written goals and plans. 13% had goals, so only 16% of these guys who you think of as the top of the top in business, but they were not in writing. And then a whopping 84% of these guys, Harvard Business School guys, had no specific goals at all. And this blows me away. 10 years later, the members of the class were interviewed again, and the findings, while somewhat predictable, were nevertheless astonishing. The 13% of the class who had goals were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all. And then what about the 3% who had clear written goals and plans? They were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% put together, because they had a destination. They knew where they were going, and the subconscious mind went to work very diligently to deliver the results that these people wanted. So what should the goals be? Goals should be this acronym of SMART goals. They should be specific, meaning you write down exactly what it is and give your subconscious mind the focus. They should be measurable, meaning you know what it is. You become a director by September the 4th, 2015. It should be attainable. You've got to believe that it'll happen. It has to be relevant, something that you can do. And then T, time-bound, meaning that it has a deadline. And it's amazing as you get close to the end of a deadline, if you can't reach it, it's crazy how hard you push right up to the finish line to grab it. So make it time bound. And then here's some information about the specifics. What to be achieved, who, when, and where. Measurable, so you know exactly what it is. Write down, if it's an income goal, the amount of money you're going to make in a year, meaning the amount of money you're going to make in a month, meaning the amount of money you're going to earn in a week, meaning how much sales you'd have to do at a party. So break it down. Attainable, it has to be believable and achievable. And then relevant, it has to be something that you want to achieve short-term and long-term. And then time-based, we talked about that, but failing to plan is planning to fail. So this awesome SMART goals was laid out by executiveandlifecoaching.com, this cornerstone group. So let's talk about, I mentioned already this turn-by-turn navigation, the ability to get to, to get to the goal you want in your life. And when you do this maps, I said, okay, from I leave my house and I go to my sister-in-law's house in Newport Beach, California. When I put in her street in Newport Beach, it goes out to the location in Newport Beach and then walks backwards. And it's interesting because as I look at this, there is half of the instructions are to get me from my house to the freeway. And then the rest of the half is to get from, the freeway on-ramp here in Salt Lake off to her house in California. So because there's so many ways that you could get to the freeway from my house, that's why it has to go out and then walk backwards. And so you drop out to that place you want to go. Maybe you want to be a gold director in Vault Denim. So you go out and you say, I am a gold director in Vault Denim. What that means is I have 2 silvers. And they each do $800 a month in production. We'll go through that. But you go out to where you want to be, and then you walk backwards slowly. And you write every turn, every distance, much like the maps does to get you there. And you'll never know your limits until you push yourself there. But work it backwards. So let's talk about that. So if you start at the end, what is it that you see? What does it look like when you're a director? What does it look like when you're gold? Describe the emotions that you feel, the visual scene, down to the sounds you hear and the things that you see, as detailed as possible. Paint pictures with the words. Then do the step immediately before that. Then the step that preceded that step, all the way back to the present time and destination. And the journey should feel as straightforward as a trip that you might take in the car to Newport Beach, California. So then life begins where fear ends. And a lot of times we're afraid to do goals that are big. And let me tell you how you get to goals that are big. Even if you're afraid, write them down. Brian Tracy taught that there is a 20 methods brainstorm that will help you fill in the gaps, because believe it or not, your subconscious mind, your brain knows what to do to get your goals. It's a matter of if you choose to accept it. But look at it this way. If this particular goal that you are writing down was urgent, it was life dependent, it was vitally important, what could someone possibly do to achieve it? Now, it doesn't mean that you will do that, but what is it that you can do? And I want you to write down 20 different things. It doesn't mean that you would do it, but just that someone could. And when you're brainstorming, don't stop the ideal flow. Just write. And again, you already know how to solve this. You just have to harvest the information from the subconscious mind. And what I found is often the idea emerges at the 17th or the 18th idea, and that's the key. So here I wrote this down for maybe a college kid that wants to get a 4.0 next semester. 20-step brainstorm. 1, I could record the class lecture every day. Will I? I don't know, but I could. Write down notes of what the teacher said. 3, type the notes into a computer. 4, create a study group. 5, clear out 2 extra hours in the morning to study when your brain is sharp. 6, go to bed by 9. 7, wake up by 5 and study then. 8, finish any big project 7 days before it's due. 9, read every assignment. 10, write a daily summary of the important parts of the lecture. 11, sit on the front row. 12, carry 3x5 cards with definitions or important equations and pull them out instead of pulling up Instagram or Facebook or a text when you have downtime and study for your classes. 13, record yourself reading your summaries from your daily reading. 14, play this recording while you're in the shower in the morning. 15, make up your own tests for yourself as part of test prep in a cram session. 16, challenge your study group to do the same and give each other the tests. 17, eat healthier food. 18, exercise in some way every day for energy. 18, 19, introduce yourself to everyone in the class. 20, eat lunch with the others in the front 2 rows of the class, because here's your study group. 21, study on either Friday or Saturday night. Give one up. That's a price to pay. So whether or not you're gonna, just write down what you could do. And then if that goal matters enough to you, then you can decide if you want to give up some of your time to do those things that you've come up to do. Because here's the fact, Zig Ziglar said, success is one thing you can't pay for. You buy it on the installment plan and make payments every day. Success must be paid. The price for success must be paid. It must be paid for in advance, and it must be paid in full. It's kind of like we reap what we sow, and we can only harvest the seeds that we've planted before and wait for them to grow, and then we can harvest them. Because you got to focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. So a goal is not a goal that's not written down is not a goal. It only becomes real when you write it down. Take a look at your list daily and read it out loud. Make the list of goals become a mantra and a meditation. Okay, I write down my goals first thing when I wake up, first thing when I go to bed. I just write them down every day. And guess what, guys? Your subconscious mind goes to work and looks for opportunities and kind of pokes you when you see something that will help you reach your goals. It's out on a search, looking for things to deliver. So let's look at what it takes to become a gold in Vault Denim. Okay, this is what a gold pin level looks like. Okay, as a gold, you've got to do 800 in personal volume that month. And if you're a gold, you'll receive 8% on your first level and 2% on sales of your second level. So to be a gold, you could do it with having 2 direct recruits also doing $800 a month, and each of them having 2 that are doing $400 a month. And as I look at that, I think, man, gold is vitally important in our comp plan. That's our first destination pin. And as I look at that, I think, man, if I worked hard for 6 months, do you think I could find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that could do this business? Now, I probably have to find more than 6 to find 6 that will engage and do this. But man, I just feel super doable. I think I can do that. And that's what it looks like to be a gold. And so as you go out to the end and say, what does it look like when I'm a gold? Well, I have 2 directs doing 800, and they have 2 directs doing 400 each. And I've helped them create that. And that's what it looks like. And then make a brainstorm that makes you wonder, what does it take, to get there? What price do you have to pay to go get it? Because in the gold comp plan, you're getting 8 and 2, and then suddenly we get to platinum and we get to director. And director is when the company is making your car payments. And I have an Audi A6 3.0 Vault pays for that I love. So how do you get to director, guys? 3 gold bricks or 3 golds makes a director. So we have to build gold 3 times. And so that's kind of like taking each of your 2 directs and help them get to gold, and then add 1 more. And then your director. Here's what it looks like. The director is the main building block. We go from gold and then shoot for director, because director is when all the gates open on the comp plan and we start getting paid for our business. So we've got 3 golds and then 1 additional leg that we're maybe just bringing on that is active at 400. So build 3 gold bricks, do 1,200 in personal volume, and then you are there. So let's just look at the compensation really quick, okay? So maybe you are a director that has a director. And so the director maybe somewhere in your organization is inside this black circle. So you get paid as a director not only on your first 3 levels of people, but as a director you pick up an extra 1, 2, or 3% on all the volume inside this red circle, as deep as it goes. If there's no director between you and the bottom of the group, you get paid 1, 2, or 3% on all of that volume every month, all of it. So that could go as far as infinity, okay? So, and if you are a Ruby director, which means you have 1 director in your group, you get paid 4% on everything inside their organization, which would be everyone from the director down to where maybe another director might be. You guys, this is where the income starts to really flow strongly in Vault Denim. And this is very, very powerful. Well, Let's talk just a second about dream boards. Dream into reality boards, I like to call them, because you want to give your subconscious a target. So one of the fun things to do at the beginning of the year is find pictures that reflect what your future achievements are. As we talked about, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Maybe grab Robb Report magazine or Travel and Leisure, or Google the word you're looking for and choose images. Maybe you want a particular car. Maybe you want a new Chevrolet Suburban. So Google Chevrolet Suburban and choose Google Images, and there's the pictures. Okay, print it, cut it out, and post it on a poster board, and then display it prominently. This is so powerful, it blew my mind. I had my kids do this a few years ago. It's been 7 years ago. Lauren, my 10-year-old back at the time, did this. We did this right before Christmas, and it was crazy. I went in her room and looked at her board in about the end of February, and she had checked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things already. It had been 3 months. It was on the board. We'd gone snorkeling in Maui. So there's 2 of them. She had done her back handspring, more snorkeling, more, and you saw swam with sea turtles at Maui. It was crazy. It wasn't things that we had thought of happening. Okay. Same thing for my middle girl, Hallie. She was 7 at the time, and again, same thing. I was in there and I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, she got 1, 2, 3, 4. She got 4 of them. And again, put it on the board, look at it, and give yourself, your subconscious, some way to reach those goals. Okay, another way to do it is get an accountability partner. If you know that you have to answer for what you've committed to do to someone else instead of just you, you won't let yourself off the hook. You'll get out and make it happen. So get an accountability partner. Find someone to share your goals with. Exponentially increases the odds of reaching those goals. If you got to answer to somebody at the end of the month, say, hey, I said I would do 1,200 this month. I said I would recruit 2 new people. And then you have a conversation with them. Arrange a monthly Face the Music session to check in. Track how you're doing, because it's true that when performance is measured, performance improves. And you'll only hold yourself accountable for goals that you tell someone else about. So get an accountability partner. Okay. If you want to do something, you want to be in an accountability group with me. If you're serious about building your business in 2015, I'm creating something called the A List. These are people who want to lead. Let's work together to get your goals. I'd love to see what your goals are. I'd love to help you be accountable. I have 10 spots open. So tell me why you should hold one of the 10 spots. Send me an email with that information. My email is gary@vaultdenim.com. So reach your goals. Give yourself that best chance that you can to get where you want to go, because you're going to go somewhere. You might as well go where you want to go. Tell your subconscious mind, feed it the information where you want it to take you, and it will. It's a very, very dutiful and busy student. So that's all I got. Appreciate you being here, and have a great evening.